Hello everyone, welcome to Euron, and in this chapter we are going to talk about something which is very amazing, very in-depth, complex, but yeah, I'll try to simplify each and everything guys for all of you. So we are going to talk about a SWOT analysis. That's completely fine, but what's amazing into it? So obviously we can write a piece of Python code and we will be able to develop those things. But the amazing part is we are going to see end to end that how we are going to create a server, and that server is technically going to perform a SWOT analysis, and we are going to expose that entire server as a tool, as a MCP tool, model context protocol tool. And just by calling a function, it is going to call a server and it is going to give you a SWOT analysis with respect to a product that you are looking for from Amazon or from a Flipkart. So one by one, step by step. So let's try to understand this entire project, and obviously I'll try to go slow. I'll make sure that you all will be able to understand this project and you all will be able to do this project. Now, the code, entire file, each and everything will be available inside your dashboard. And I believe we all know where to find that dashboard. So fine guys, let me share my screen, and this is a project that we are going to discuss, dynamic market research agent. And obviously we are going to do each and everything which is mentioned over here in a step-by-step manner, and then we are going to eventually, because the goal of this entire project is to talk about how we can try to build a custom server, how we can try to build a complete custom tool and expose it as to the MCPs, as a MCP, expose it. And this is what we are going to see it over here guys. So step by step, let's try to move, and at the end of the day, so whenever we are going to call a tool with the help of Inspector or with the help of Claude Desktop, or you can try to use any other things as well, that's completely fine to call your MCPs. But yeah, so whenever we are going to call this particular tool, so it is supposed to generate a complete detailed PDF for me, so where I will be able to see a SWOT analysis with respect to a product which I'm looking for, and you will be able to enter any kind of a product and you will be able to get a detail about any things. Now, so from where we are going to get a detail about a product, let's try to understand that as well. So for that, maybe I can go to Google and I can try to search for a Flipkart. So let's suppose if I'm searching for a Flipkart, I'll go to a Flipkart and then I can try to search over here a product, maybe an iPhone. I can try to search iPhone 15 over here. Now, so my system that I'm going to create, so my system is supposed to go to this particular place and it is supposed to search a particular product, and then it is supposed to extract ratings and reviews which is given for this particular product. And whatever you want, obviously you all will be able to extract each and every information after this particular project. So it's not like you are just going to extract a couple of information. No, whatever you can see, all of these information you all will be able to extract in a easiest possible way. This is what we are going to understand. This is what, for that we are going to create a MCP server. Now, so here, this I think our project understanding is completely fine for all of us. Now, let's start building this entire project in a step-by-step manner. So first of all, guys, we have to reach out to Flipkart or Amazon or whatever we are looking for, and we have to extract a data, right? A data that we are looking for, maybe whatever product information, maybe a ratings, maybe a reviews, maybe a comments, whatever it is, right? Maybe a price. So whatever we are looking for, so we are supposed to extract all of those data, and then we have to expose that entire things, the entire data that we, or the thing that we are trying to extract, to some of the tools, so that my tool will be able to extract same kind of information by calling my server or my APIs that I'm going to create. Now, so I'm going to show you each and everything in my local, and then maybe in a later stage, I'm going to show you how to make it even a global. That's not a big deal. So we can try to make it global if something is up and running inside my system. So to do that, right? So let me close this particular screen. Now to do that, so what we need is, so we need basically APIs. So what kind of an API we need? So basically we need a Google search API in a very first place. Unless and until you don't have a Google search API and you don't have a search engine ID, so you will not be able to scrap, or you will not be able to extract any kind of a data. You can try to use even a Serper API. You can try to use any kind of a scrapping tool which is available in a market nowadays. There are a lot of scrapping tool which is available, but I will be using over here a Google search API. So what you have to do is you have to go to a Google console. So just go to Google and Google Cloud Console. So first of all, you have to go to a Google Cloud Console. So we are just trying to do a preparation, guys, preparation for like entire things. So here I'll try to go to a Google Cloud Console. Now, once I'm inside a Google Cloud Console, maybe I can try to create a new project over here, right? So I can try to click and then I can try to create a new project in this particular place. I can try to give a project name SWOT basically. So SWOT over here, and then I can try to click on create. And here, so once your project will be created, as you can see, so it's creating my project. So I can try to select this project. Even from here, I will be able to select this particular project. So click and select a particular project. Now, what you have to do is, so you will be able to see, as you can see, my project has been selected. Now, what you have to do is you have to go to API and services. And then from here, so you have to search for a custom API. So custom search API. You have to search for this one. So just search for a custom search API. So here is a custom search API, and I'm going to create my own API. So first of all, you have to enable it. So just click and enable this custom search API. Simple. Yeah. Or maybe you can even try to click on try this API after enabling it. So maybe I can try to click and yeah, so now my screen has changed. So that's completely fine. It is going to give me anyhow an option over here, right? So here what you can do is you can try to create a custom API, try API Explorer, disable, go back, API and service, libraries. Okay, so enable API service, not this one. Custom search API. Again, I'm going to search. So again, I'm just going to click on this, try this API, right? It's already enabled. So try this API. And this is the easiest way to create an API, guys, at least for a testing purpose. So let's go and create the API. Okay, so here it is just asking you get a key. So yes, click on this one and it is going to give you an option to select your project. So I'm going to click and select my SWOT project. So here I'm going to select my SWOT project, as you can see, and then I'm going to click on next. And this is going to give me an API, a search engine API, basically a custom search engine API. So here I'm going to just click on show key, and this key I'm going to copy and keep it somewhere, so that somewhere safe basically, so that I'm going to use this one. So this is our very first thing that you have to acquire from a Google. And yeah, so I'm going to disable this API in a later stage. So this is the very first API. Now the second thing is, so you have to go to this URL called as programmablesearchengine.google.com. And here, so you have to create again a search engine IDX. So search engine name is SWOT. ENGIN I'm going to create and search the entire bib option I'm going to select, and then I'm going to click on I'm not a robot, and then I'm going to create it. Okay, so now once it is going to create it, back to engine and then select your engine, the engine that you have created, right? And here, so it is going to give you a search engine ID. Now keep this with you. So we need two things, guys. So one is a search engine ID and one is a search API, as simple as that. So search API is ready and search engine ID is ready to me. I'm going to attach this entire link so that you all will be able to create it in a easiest possible way. So keep these two things handy in a very first place, right? So one is a Google search engine, like a custom search API, and another one is basically a search engine ID. Once this is done, now try to open up your VS Code and we will start creating a project now. So what we are going to create, by the way, so in a very first place, what we can do is, so we can try to create, right? So this is the first part. I'm able to acquire my Google search engine ID and a key. So both I'm able to acquire, which I'm going to use it inside this particular project, at least to scroll or search something on a web, for example, a Flipkart or Amazon or any other website. I can go over there and I can try to search it. It's not limited to any like a specific one. So it's a Google search that we are trying to do. Now what we are supposed to do is, so we are basically supposed to build a server, so which will be able to use that API that we have created, and then it will be able to, right? So then it will be able to basically crawl all the data, do all kind of analysis that we are looking for, and then store a result somewhere. And obviously I'm supposed to expose that entire part, right? I'm supposed to expose that entire part as a API, so that my MCPs, right? So wherever I'm going to create a MCP tool, it is going to access that API. Because the reason is that let's suppose I'm going to configure it with the inspector, which is like a responsible for running your MCP tool. Or let's suppose if I'm going to integrate these things with the Cloud, at the end of the day, so this Cloud, this MCP inspector is not going to call these APIs for you. This is not going to do a sentiment analysis. This is not going to perform any kind of like a PDF operation. So all of those programs you should write in your server, and then your MCP must be able to call that particular server. So here I can just go into a file. I can just try to create a new folder over here inside my D drive. And let's suppose I'm going to select a MCP folder, and inside that I'm going to write SWOT SWOT underscore SERVER server. So SWOT server I'm going to create basically. So here I'm going to write each and every kind of a code inside my SWOT server. Now what kind of a code I'm going to write inside this SWOT server? Let's try to understand one by one. So first of all, guys, what we are supposed to do is, so we are basically supposed to create a requirement, requirements.txt, so that I will be able to install all the dependencies. Now, so this is the dependencies that we are going to install. A Flask. Basically, I'm using a Flask. You can try to use even a fast API. That's completely fine to create your entire server or expose the entire server, or like create your APIs. So I'm going to create this Flask, request, pandas, matplotlib, transformer, FPDF, torch, Gunicon, all of these things. Now, once this is done, close this part, and then try to maybe create a new Python environment. That's completely fine. There is no issue in that. Or maybe you can try to run it inside a local environment itself. So here what I can do is, maybe I can try to create a new Python environment for me. So here conda create, conda create -n environment name SWOT, SWOT is an environment name which I'm going to give, and then Python is equals to 3.10, and then yes, right? So this is going to create a new conda environment for me, and then inside that environment I'm going to install requirement.txt. So as you can see, my environment is created. Now what I will do is, I'll try to activate this environment. So simple conda activate an environment name. So as it is giving you a suggestion. So now as you can see, my environment is ready. CLS, clear the screen. So here SWOT environment is ready. Now inside this environment, I'm going to install pip install requirement. So pip install -r requirements.txt. So whatever is there inside my requirement.txt. So one by one, as you can see, so it is going to install each and everything, right? Whatever I'm using, everything it will be able to install. Okay, so now installation is done, I believe. It's taking some time. That's fine. And again, so along with this entire lecture, please try to execute this entire things inside your local system, so that you all will be able to understand what is happening. And at the end of the day, you all will be able to create a MCPs. Okay, let me hit enter a couple of times. Okay, so this is done. My entire installation is done. So once my entire installation is done, I can just close it, close this one for now. And then what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to basically create an app. So here app.py, you can try to give any other name, that's completely fine, app.py. And here, so I'm going to keep my entire server, so which is going to do hard work for me. So how I'm going to do it? So let me copy and paste the entire code. It's a huge code base that we have, 224 line of a code. So here, I'll try to explain you each and everything in a step-by-step manner, by the way, right? And this code is not very difficult to understand, although this code is a little bit lengthy, but still, you will be able to understand this entire piece of a code in a easiest possible way. I'll just try to give you a walkthrough, and again, function by function. So this code is written in a complete modular, like a function I have created. So you are not supposed to worry about anything. Okay. So here, the very first part is we are trying to do all the imports. Okay. That's completely fine. The second part is I'm trying to create a Flask app. Okay, so that I will be able to create a server, right? My own local server, which will be called by my MCP tool. So here we are going to set a Google API key and search engine ID. So as of now, I'm trying to hard code my Google API key and a search engine ID, but yeah, it's not an ideal approach. Ideally, you should keep it inside a dot environment so that it will be secure and it will not be visible. But yeah, as I'm recording this video for learning purposes, so I'm going to do that. So here, two things, right? So one is a search engine API that we have already created. So we are going to use that API over here, a same API key, we are going to use it, plus search engine ID that we have created, right? This is my search engine ID. So I'm going to use this search engine ID. Fine. So save it. And then what we are going to do is, so we are going to start processing this entire things. Now, forget about this piece of the code as of now. So I'll be talking about this code at the end of this entire things. So here, let's focus over here. So here I'm trying to create a route. So where my entire server will be up and running, analyze route for a local host. If I'm going to deploy it in a production environment, then URL/analyze, simple, right? URL/analyze. So here, so what kind of analysis I'm going to do, what this analyze will do basically. So basically it is going to take a product name, as you can see, right? So it is going to request for the data. So if data is coming, so it is going to request for the data, and then data means a product name basically you are going to pass. And if you are able to get a product name, so it is going to store it inside a variable, and then it is going to call basically e-commerce SWOT analyzer. As simple as that. Now, what this e-commerce SWOT analyzer will do basically. So here, as you can see that we have a product name. Yeah, we have a product name over here. Now, this e-commerce SWOT analyzer that we have written over here, so it is going to scrap the data first with the help of obviously the Google search engine that we are trying to integrate. So here, let's suppose if I'm going to pass iPhone 15 or something like that, if I'm going to pass, so here product name will come, and then it will try to create a query string. So this is the query string that I have. So product name site amazon.in or maybe flipkart.com. So any of these site. So this is my query. Now this query I'm trying to send to whom? This query I'm trying to send to my Google search engine. So here query will go, Google API key and search engine ID will go, that we have already prepared in a beginning itself, as you can see, right? That we have already prepared over here in line number 17 and 18. So first of all, what we are supposed to do is, so we are supposed to basically search something with the help of Google, and Google is going to search this particular website. You can try to give any other website, that's completely fine. You can try to add more and more, that's completely fine. Now, once it is, so it is going to call request.get, and it is going to pass URL, this particular URL, and then it is going to pass a parameter wise. So query, like which product on which website I'm going to search for, and so parameter, and then Google API search engine ID it is going to pass. Fine. So once it is going to send a request, it is going to get some sort of a response. We are just trying to handle over here that if code is not 200, so in that case, just tell me that Google search API has failed. Otherwise, what you should do is, so whatever response that you are able to get in line number 112, so just try to extract those responses in a form of a JSON. So like a response.json, and that is going to be my data. Simple. Now from a data means a raw data basically. So from a data, so basically it is going to get an item one by one. I'm trying to iterate through the item. Let's suppose it is able to find out 10 results with respect to iPhone 15. So it is going to fetch all of those things, or maybe a 10 reviews. So here it is going to loop through the entire item, and then it is going to extract a title, it is going to extract a link, it is going to extract a price. As of now, we have just hard coded it. It is going to extract a source basically, it is going to extract a rating, it is going to extract a review. So it is going to extract each and everything, right? It is going to extract each and everything, and then it is going to give me a final result, as simple as that. So it is going to give me each and everything over here, and result I'm going to store into a list format. So multiple result, obviously I'm going to store it into a list format over here. Fine. So once I will be able to get a data, so e-commerce sort analyzer is going to give me a particular data set. Then what I can do is, maybe I can try to like save each and everything somewhere, which I'm already like doing it. So first of all, e-commerce sort analyzer, so it is going to give you the entire data. Then I'm going to save the result into a local directory. So this is basically a code which is going to save the result into my local directory at the end of the day. Okay, so once I'm going to save the result into a local directory, into a JSON format, then what I'm supposed to do is I'm supposed to even save this entire things in a PDF format. Yeah, in a PDF format. So here we have written a generate PDF report. Means here, so what it will do is it will try to create a PDF. It will try to add a page. It will try to check the font and everything. It is going to like create a summary. It is going to keep a summary over there. It is going to create a strength, weakness, opportunity, threats, each and everything, whatever we are going to get from the sort analyzer. And then it is going to even create a chart over here with the help of a library that we are going to provide over here. As simple as that, right? And then here we have, okay, so we have already talked about the SWOT analyzer, and this is nothing but it is going to analyze a sentiment basically. So it is going to load a sentiment analyzer. It is going to basically like a create a entire like a sentiment, that whether it's a positive, whether it's a negative, or like whatever sentiment that we have. So it is going to basically perform the sentiment analysis for all of us. Okay, now this is done. Sentiment analysis is already done. Then this is a map to sort function, so which we are anyhow using it. Okay, so let's go down. Yeah. So here, what we are trying to do is, so we are trying to analyze the sentiment, and then we are trying to like call this map to sort basically. So whatever sentiment it is going to give, so we are going to map it basically. So what is the strength, what is the weakness, what is the opportunity, what is the threat, each and everything we are going to map it over here. And then we are trying to call even a visualizer. So these are the independent function that I have created over here to analyze the sentiment, map to a sort, visualize each and everything, right? And then we are trying to calculate what is the positive like a count of the reviews and what is the negative count of the reviews. And then finally it is going to give me this kind of a responses, that this is the product name, this is the analysis, this is basically a chart, and then this is going to give me a summary, and then source is equals to API. Now, so this code, right? So this code is going to scrap a data. This is going to do an entire sentiment analysis, and we can try to add a lot over here, right? This is just a base code that I have created so that it should not look very much complex to any one of us. And then I'm trying to basically expose it as an API. So I'm going to run this one, and then anyone, right? Anyone who would like to test it, so they can go to /analyze, so which I have already mentioned over here, /analyze, and this entire function will be called, whatever we have discussed, it will be called automatically. It will be called automatically, and then eventually it is going to like run it, and it is going to basically create a folder for me, and it is going to keep my things up and running, or it is like going to give me the final PDF. So fine guys, now this code should be up and running. I have already tested this code. Now let's try to start this server. So this is my server code, right? So now let's try to start this entire server. So how to start this server? Nothing. So Python and then app.py. There is some issue that we are getting. So pandas library data type have changed, may indicate the binary compatibility, expect line number 96. Got from line number. Okay, so let me debug this entire things. Let me run this once again, my server. this module line number 25, this looks fine. 213 from pandas, library from interval, expect 96 from C header, got 88 from the project. Okay, just wait guys. Let me debug. Okay, so there is an issue with the installation. So let me do pip uninstall pandas and numpy. Okay, and then pip install this version. So numpy 1.23 and pandas. So this was a version issue, by the way. So pandas 2.3 I had installed. So instead of that, I can try to update my requirement.txt if it is going to work. So to 1.5.3 and yeah, so numpy, maybe I can try to keep it as 1.23.5. So this, I think this is going to fix the issue. Now python app.py file. Okay, so bingo. Now here, so my server is up and running. So at this particular port, my server is up and running, and inside this server, so I have a function, so analyze function basically, which is up and running at this particular place. So which is going to like do the entire work for me, which is going to like create the complete PDF, a final PDF. So I will be able to test this API with the help of basically like a postman, or maybe I can try to send a curl request, or maybe I can try to use any other programming languages, and I will be able to test it. Now here, so what I'm going to do is, so I'm going to basically create a test file basically, so which is going to test this entire things for me. So let me go and let me create this test file basically, so that it will be able to test it inside a local in a very first place. So here I'm going to basically create a new file, so which is going to help me out to create this or to execute this API. So test underscore swot dot py. So this is a test file I'm going to create, and keep your server up and running so that I will be able to test it. So now let me bring a testing code. Now testing code is nothing but guys, so it is basically trying to like test this endpoint. So our endpoint is basically what? So we are running into a local. If I'm going to make it global, so in that case this URL is going to change, or you can even try to parameterize it. And here, so I'm just trying to hard code my product, nothing much. I'm just trying to hard code my product over here. That's it. And then I'm trying to do a API request. So whatever API URL that we have, let me close this one. So whatever API URL that we have, so I'm just trying to make a request to this one, and it is going to return me the entire data. So it is going to return me the entire data into a response, and then whatever response I will be able to get with the help of this particular API, so my function will be called, as simple as that, right? My function will be called, and finally I will be able to get each and everything. So fine. Test API endpoint. Let me execute this test API endpoint, by the way, this particular test underscore swot.py. So here we can try to create one more cell, a command prompt, and here I can try to write Python test sort py. So once I'm going to call this test sort py, now you must be able to see some sort of action over here. So it's giving me 200. 200 means successfully it is able to perform this particular analysis. Means I'm just able to test my API. I'm able to hit this particular URL. My server is up and running, as you can see, right? So again, once again, if I'm going to do the same, so here you will be able to find out that again, it's going to give me a 200, right? So again, if I'm going to hit it, so again, it is going to give me 200. Maybe I can try to change a product name over here. So here I'm going to write like Apple Mac. So maybe I can try to change a product name, and then I can try to Okay, so there is some error. Let me run the server once again. Okay, so server is running. Let me change the environment first of all. So here, conda activate SWOT SWOT. And then here, so I can try to call maybe my Python test SWOT.py. So it is testing for Apple Mac, and then here is some like a output I'm able to get. And yeah, so if I'll go over here inside a PDF report, so Apple Mac SWOT report, I will be able to access, as you can see, right? So this PDF is available to me, and this is something which I was looking for. Even for like 2 times I have executed iPhone 15 SWOT. So yeah, this report is available inside this particular one. Okay, so now we are able to create an API. Our server is up and running. That's completely fine. And yeah, so I'm able to test it inside my local. This entire test SWOT, I'm able to test it inside my local. It's up and running. It's working basically. Now, what is the next step that we have to do? So once this entire thing is up and running, so now what we can do is we can try to convert this entire things as a MCP, so that as a MCP tool, I will be able to call the same API, means whatever is running in my system, right? So I'm supposed to expose it to the MCP as a tool. This API, I'm supposed to expose it, and where I'm going to use this one itself, a test API endpoint itself. So let's do it. Let's try to open up a new VS Code. So here I'm going to open up a new VS Code so that I will be able to, create a fresh project just to create the MCP, where this MCP will be using my API, which I have already created and which is up and running. So open folder and then go to my D drive, and then there is some MCP folder. So here I have created a SWOT server. So here I'm going to create a new folder and MCP underscore tool underscore SWOT. So SWOT I'm going to create. Okay. So this is the folder which you are supposed to create. Now, so here I will be writing each and everything for creating a MCP tool. So how I'm going to create a MCP tool first of all? So I will be using a UV configuration, which is going to help you out in a easiest possible way to create this kind of a tool. Now, so if you have to create this UV configuration, so you have to do a little bit of work in a very first place. So what you have to do, so first of all, you have to go to this URL. So I'm going to attach this URL as well in your document. So you have to go to this URL, and first of all, you have to install this one into your Windows machine. If you are using Mac or Linux machine, then you have to install this one. So here in a PowerShell, right? So just try to open up your PowerShell and try to install this one, so that it will be able to install a UV inside your system. So as you can see, it is like installing, and yeah, so UV installation is done. So UV is nothing but a kind of a package manager, so which I will be using. If you are using a Mac or Linux, you can try to use a Mac or Linux compatible command over here. So this is the first step. Now, what is a second step? So second step is, so we have to create a boilerplate code over here, or boilerplate structure over here, so that I will be able to convert anything into a MCP server. How I can do that? So in a step-by-step manner, what we can do is, so we can, once your UV is installed inside your system, so you have to restart your, sometime you have to restart your VS Code, and then over here, right? So then over here, so you have to write a UV. So basically you have to write a UV init, initialize it, and then MCP underscore server underscore demo. So underscore server underscore demo. So it is going to create a new directory for you basically. So as you can see, it has created a boilerplate for me, and a lot of file it has created. There is something called as readme file, a toml file, and then main file, Python version, and git ignore file it has created. Now I'll try to go into this directory. So I'll just try to do cd and then MCP server demo. So now I'm inside this particular directory. Okay, this particular directory. So once I'm into this particular directory, then I have to install all the MCP dependencies. So here you can try to use UV add, and then you can try to write MCP and bracket CLI and then close it. Okay, fine. So now it is able to install each and everything. It is able to install this entire dependencies over here with respect to this particular MCP server I'm trying to create. Simple, as simple as that. Now what we are supposed to do is, so now we are supposed to create, or we are supposed to basically call our tools. Let me check my code. So this is fine. This is fine. Okay. So now what we are supposed to do is, so now we are supposed to create a tool over here. So fine, let's go inside the MCP server demo, try to create a new folder and name it as a tools, right? Tools means the API basically, right? That is basically a tool for me so that my MCPs will be able to call it in the easiest possible way. So here you are supposed to call a tools. Simple, right? There is nothing inside this particular tool as of now. Now what we can do is, so we can try to create a file over here. One is just an initialization file, init __.py. Okay. So now you have to create this one, leave it as it is, close it, save it, close it, as simple as that. Okay. So don't have to write anything, so that package it will be able to recognize. Now, inside this tool, once again, you can try to go and you can try to create basically MCP _SWOT, MCP SWOT.py, right? So this is a tool I'm going to create. Now what this tool is going to do? So obviously this tool is nothing but a function, right? A function which is going to call my server, as simple as that, right? So this function is supposed to call my server, pass the data, get the output. Now, this is the responsibility of this particular tool. And then once I will be able to create a tool, once I will be able to test that particular tool, then I can try to attach that tool with a MCP, so that in a MCP fashion, I will be able to invoke that particular tool. So as of now, just a boilerplate code which is given to you. So here, tool wise, so what is the tool which I'm going to create? So I believe we have already created, right? We have already created a test SWOT, so which is able to hit my API and which is able to produce the result. We have already created this test SWOT. So I'm going to use a same function. So just try to copy each and everything in a as it is manner over here. Same thing. You can try to like copy in a as it is manner. So now this is basically, right? So this testing one, I'm going to consider it as a tool. You can try to remove this main.py, this main function. So it's completely fine. It's not required. I just need this entire function over here, right? So that I will be able to treat this entire function as a tool. Yeah, I'll be able to treat this entire function as a tool. So maybe I can try to remove this main part of this Python and Control S, save it. You can keep it. Again, it is not going to harm any, it is not going to create any kind of a harm for you. That's completely fine. Now, once this is done, right? Once this is done, then you can try to go to your main.py file. This is the main.py file. You have to go over here and you have to first of all import that particular tool that you have created already. Yeah. And you have to import basically a fast MCP. So fast MCP, and then import basically from fast MCP, import FAST MCP capital. So import this fast MCP. That's for the first part. Then try to import basically a tool. So from tools, so tool is this directory basically. So from tools dot, and then what we have inside, what is the name of this file? So MCP SWOT, as you can see, MCP SWOT.py. So it is giving me a suggestion. Now from this one, import. So import what? So import my function. So what is the function name that I have given? Test API endpoint. I can try to keep any number of function over here. That's completely fine, right? If I'm looking for maybe 10, 20 function and I would like to expose it as a tool, that's completely fine. So here, import what? So test API endpoint. Just try to import this one. So these are the two things which is required. So now over here inside my main.py file, we have a fast MCP, so which is going to help me out to expose or create my tool. And then basically we have this like a import of the tool or this function, so which is actually hitting my API. So I have this this option which is available to me. Now once this one is done, right? Once this one is done, then what is the next step that we are supposed to do? So we have to now expose it. A very simple function I'm going to write. So I'm not going to write like a something very difficult over here. So here I'm going to write a function. I'm going to delete that existing function, which is a part of boilerplate code, SWOT SWOT analysis. So this is the function which I'm going to call. And then inside this function, right? Inside this function, it is going to return what? It is going to return basically test API endpoint, as simple as that. Yeah. And how it will be able to create it as a tool. So I'm going to decorate it with basically MCP. Now, before decorating with the MCP, I have to create an instance of the MCP. So I have already done the import of fast MCP. So what I can do is I can try to call this fast MCP. I can try to write my MCP server name. So SWOT SWOT analysis MCP. Okay, so this is the MCP name, and then I'm going to store it as a MCP object. So MCP dot tools, TOOL, not S. So basically tool. So this is something which I'm going to decorate it with. So now this is going to expose it, right? So with the help of this particular SDK, fast MCP SDK. So this is going to expose it, right? This is going to expose it as a tool. And then inside my main, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write mcp.run, mcp.run over here. So now once I'm going to call mcp.run, it is going to treat this entire things as a MCP, and I will be able to call it. I will be able to configure it maybe into a Cloud or maybe into a inspector. I will be able to configure it. Okay. So this is done. I'm not doing much over here. So whatever testing code which I have written, testing Python code which I have written, so I'm just trying to use the same function over here so that, and I'm trying to expose that function as a tool, as you can see, test API endpoint, right? So I'm just trying to expose it as a endpoint, so as a SWOT analysis. So this is basically a tool, SWOT analysis tool, which I have created, which is eventually calling my server, which is running in my local system. It may run even in a global system. That's completely fine. You can Dockerize it. You can try to host it anywhere. That's completely fine. Okay. So save it, right? Save it. And then after saving, what you have to do, so clear my screen. So after saving this entire things, what you have to do is, so you have to click, or you have to call UV run MCP, right? UV run MCP. So it is going to run this entire MCP if everything looks fine. Yeah. So UV run MCP, and yeah, it looks fine so far, right? It looks fine so far. So what we can do is, so maybe we can try to test it with respect to a Cloud, or maybe we can try to test it even with respect to a inspector. So there is an inspector tool, a UI based tool, which is available to us, and I will be able to even test it with that. So to expose or to like invoke that UI tool, I can try to write mcp dev and then main.py file, because this is the file responsible for that. So mcp dev main.py file, and it is going to give me inspector tool. MCP inspector is up and running, as you can see, just with one simple command, mcp dev main.py file. And as you can see, my main.py file is calling what? My main.py file. Inside that, I have this tool, and it is trying to call basically API, right? A server which is up and running into a different program. Okay. So I'll just try to go to this URL, as you can see, right? I will just try to go through this URL, and I'll try to test this URL. So whether I'm able to call my server or not. So here, in a very first place, you have to click on connect. Yeah. Click on connect. Now this is the inspector. Click on connect. So here, file not found, D drive MCP tool. Okay, so file not found, run with MCP run main.py file. So there is some error which I'm getting. Let me resolve this error. It is not able to find out the file. Maybe there is some error over here. So I can try to use maybe a separate command. Let me terminate this part, guys. Let me clear my screen. And there is a command which I have for an inspector. So which is a Node.js based command. So npx model-context-protocol @model-context-protocol inspector python main.py file. So main.py file again I'm trying to invoke, because I believe I have MCP server demo inside that. Yes, I do have a main.py file. Let's see. Let's see. So starting the inspector, and let's go over here, check once again. Okay, click on connect. Okay, yeah. So now error output from MCP server, SWOT analysis. Okay, so starting the server, info starting, SWOT analysis server, py file, this one looks good to me. So maybe I can try to click on tool over here, and then I can try to list down a tool, and we can try to see whether it is able to recognize the tool or not. So it is not able to recognize a tool over here. Okay, so let me close this part, and then let me check. Sorry, this file. And what is the error? Can't see the header after send to the client. Okay, fine. So it is not able to recognize this particular tool. Okay, fine guys, not an issue. We'll try to fix it. So let me check my existing code, which I have already written. So yeah, looks fine. Let me terminate this one. Control C, yes. dir, okay, so main.py file, that's fine. Then we are trying to call MCP run. That's fine. Fast MCP. We are able to create it. Okay, that's completely fine. But let me re-execute this entire things once again so that it will be able to build it. So UV add CLI, resolve 21 package, audited this one. Okay, so this looks fine. I don't think that I have made any kind of a mistake anywhere. But why it is not able to recognize it? Terminate, yes, run it once again. Okay, so here is my MCP connect tool listing, list tool. Okay, so there was no error. So I think there was some cache issue. There was no error at all because creation of MCP is not that tough, and I'm pretty much sure about this MCP one, by the way. So MCP run. So obviously this is the only part which is going to expose the entire function as a tool. Yeah. So here I'm able to see a tool. I'm going to click on SWOT analysis. Now this is the same tool, guys. You will be able to find out that we have written over here. A SWOT analysis we have written over here, right? My server is up and running. My inspector is up and running. So if you have a multiple tools over here, right? So it is going to show you a multiple tools. So one by one, even you can try to attach 100, 200, 500 tools. That's completely fine. So you just have to do what? So you have to create that many number of tools, and over here, so you have to just decorate it with MCP tools. So it is going to show you all the tools, all the functions. So unlimited. Now I'm going to select this particular tool, and now I'm going to click on run the tool. Now once I'm going to click run the tool, so what it is going to run, right? What it is going to run? So obviously it is going to run the tool that I have already created. So this is the tool which I have created, a SWOT analysis. Now what I'm doing inside this run tool, so I'm trying to test API endpoint. Now what I'm testing inside API endpoint, so the server which is up and running. So if you remember, I have another program. So here my server is up and running. If server is not up and running, so in that case, it is going to give you an issue. But yeah, if my server is up and running, so obviously it is going to create a file over here. It is going to give me a SWOT analysis. It is going to generate all kind of a data for me. Now maybe I can try to change name over here. So I'm just going to like search for a different product. So whenever I'm going to like call this MCP server, so maybe I can try to call Samsung Ultra. So if this kind of a product is available, so just go search for Samsung Ultra and then give me the result. Now, so let me execute and run. There are a lot of like file I have opened up. Okay, SWOT analysis and then run the tool. And it is telling me that ended 500 SSE connection not established. Okay, so let me analyze. So error posting the endpoint SSE connection not established. Okay, fine. So it is now a next step of the error, by the way. SSC connection, it is not able to establish. Okay, let me check and debug. Don't have any other option except debugging this one. Yeah, this is how code works. So let me Control C, terminate this one. And here, so it will try to call this one. And looks like it is going to work fine for me. Maybe I can try to test it once again. So let's go and test it once again. Our Flask API is up and running or not. So Python test swot.py. Testing API Apple Mac. So yeah, this is working completely fine. Copy the same and then paste it. Okay. So this was working fine. I've just tested it, as you can see, right? So it is able to generate Mac SWOT analysis report, right? It is able to generate this one. So maybe I can try to test the same now with MCPs. So here, let's go to the MCP server and then run it once again. Let's see. Go over here, connect. Okay, so connected, tool, list tool, endpoint SSC not established, list tool, restart, connect. Now the same code was able to connect. It was SSC connection not established. Why? Everything is done over here. So yes. Let me check once again. So whether my everything is up and running or not. So mcp.run, that's fine. This is again looks fine to me. There is no issue at all. MCP. tool and tool. So yeah, there is no issue at all. Main.py MCP tool SWOT. So I can go into CD MCP server demo. Main.py is available here. Okay, this is just environment detail. Let me check once again. Connect. Connected. Tools. List tool. Okay, list tool. Error posting this. Same issue which I have already fixed. It was not even an issue, by the way. So it was. Let me fix it, guys. Maybe just a quick fix. And let me import this request. Directly I'm going to hit the API from here. CLS. It is not connected MCP client to backing a server transport, new SSC connection. That's fine. Now, where is my URL, by the way? Yeah. Connect. Okay, guys. So it was basically a very small issue. What I have done is when I was creating this project, right? So multiple instances of this was running, means this URL was running. Because of that, it was like getting confused, and because of that, so it was giving me a error, which I have closed all the URL, and I believe now ISO is fixed. Now let me like execute once again and let me show it to you, right? So let me call a disconnect and then let me close it completely. Okay, my server is up and running. So your server is Flask server is supposed to be up and running. So yeah, it is up and running as of now. Maybe I can close my Flask server and then I can try to restart my Flask server. So python app.py and hit enter, and I'm going to restart my entire server. Okay, so once this Python server is or Flask server is going to start, let me like minimize it, or maybe let me like open up this code base. So basically where we have let me close all this file so that it will not create unnecessary confusion over here. No, not this one. So, okay, yeah. So this MCP server, and let me like terminate this as well. CLS. Okay. So basically I have two things, as you can see, close this one. So I have a tool over here. So I have technically two things in this particular place. So one is basically this particular MCP tool, right? Which I'm going to use it to call my API. So this is the API which is up and running somewhere in a backend, right? So peacefully it is up and running, and I can see that yes, it's up and running. Now what I can do is, so maybe I can try to execute it, and maybe I can try to pass a new name of the product. As of now, it's been hard coded, but yeah, you can try to change it if you want. So I can try to search for noise earphone or headphone, noise headphone. Yeah. So I'll be searching for this noise headphone over here. And this is what I have like this is what I have changed inside my function, which my tool is going to call, right? So which I'm going to treat as a tool and which my MCP is going to call. Now here what I will do is, so I will just try to execute this entire server. So just execute this entire server and listening to this one, and this is the URL. This is the inspector URL basically, where I can go and I can try to test it. Yeah. So I can go and I can try to test it. So let me open up my inspector URL, and here I can try to click on connect. So yeah, it's connected. Now I can try to click on tools over here, and let me see. So what all tools are available. So SWOT analysis tool is available, and till this point it was working fine. SWOT analysis tool is available. So till this point it was working well and good. Now, so I can try to select this particular tool, and then I can try to click on run tool. So once I'm going to click on run tool, now it is giving me a total result, tool result success. If it is a successful one, then it must have created a PDF for me. So if I'll go over here, and then you will be able to see that, yeah, so noise headphone SWOT analysis report, total review is equal to 10, positive is equal to 3, negative is equal to 7, positive percentage, strength, weakness, each and everything, whatever is there, whatever I have written inside my code to perform the SWOT analysis, it is able to bring. Now, so let me keep it in a different screen, and I will keep on hitting my tool, and then you will be able to see over here that it will. So continuously, guys, as you can see, continuously I'm running my tool, or maybe I can try to split, I keep it in this way. Yeah, and then this in this particular place. So in the same screen, as you can see, so I have a tool up and running, right? This is the MCP tool, MCP Inspector, which I have. And here, so I'm going to like maybe disconnect and then connect once again. So once I'm able to connect, so let me list down all the tools. So this is the tool, and then run tool. So once I'm going to run the tool, you will be able to find out that it is going to hit the API, and then it is going to create the PDF. Yeah. So run the tool and then hit the API, run the tool, hit the API, and it will keep on creating a PDF again and again and again for noise headphone, right? So hit it. So in this way, I'm able to expose and I'm able to call my entire API, which I have. So the server which I have created, so I'm able to expose it as a MCP tool, and even I'm able to test it. A true MCP tool, I'm able to test it. Now, even you can try to expose this entire things in a Cloud A. That is also possible. In a Cloud A, you all will be able to expose it. Now, to do that, right, so what we can do is, so maybe we can go to Google, and first of all, we can try to download a Claude Desktop. So Claude Desktop download. So once you are going to click on Claude Desktop download, so it is going to give you three options: Windows, ARM, and Mac OS. So Windows, I'll go ahead with that. So I'm going to download this setup file. So I have already downloaded this setup file, so I'm going to use that part. So as you can see, this is the Claude I have downloaded. So I'm going to install this Claude, and let's see so how I will be able to call the same tool with the help of Claude. So as of now, I was using inspector, so could not load error reading in this. That's fine. So maybe I can try to go here. I can go to file, I can go to setting, and then I can go to a developer, edit configuration, and let's try to open up this JSON file. So as of now, this entire configuration is empty for me. There is nothing inside the configuration. So maybe I'll have to do something by which I will be able to configure it, and then I will be able to execute it inside a Cloud. Okay, so close all of these noise. I have already downloaded, so close this one and edit configuration. So by mistake, guys, I think I have already deleted the configuration file, but that's fine. So maybe we can try to build it. So here is my tool. So I'm going to close my inspector. So once I'm going to close my inspector, now what we can do is, so we can try to call MCP install and then main.py file. Let's see. So fail to update Cloud configuration, fail to install SWOT analysis MCP in a Cloud app. Actually, I have deleted my Cloud configuration, and because of that, it is giving me an issue. But yeah, let me fix it. Let me fix that part. Okay guys, so looks like ISO is fixed. So what we have to do is, so basically we have to, if we have to call that tool, so if I have to call this particular tool with the help of Cloud, so what I can do is I can try to go to a file first of all, and then I can try to go to a setting, I can try to go to a developer, I can try to click on edit configuration. Now, so we don't have to do we can try to add a configuration for this particular tool, MCP tool, manually. Or what we can do is just close each and everything, right? And as of now, there is no tool which it is trying to expose or which it is trying to list down as of now. So what we can do is we can try to basically close this one, exit this one, close all the other window. This is like we have already tested. So with the help of MCP Inspector, so we are able to call it. So let me close even this particular part, and then let me go to a code basically. So the MCP code over here. So do CLS and then try to install this main.py file. So this command MCP install main.py file. So what it is going to do is, so it is going to install your tool inside a Cloud, so that with the help of event tool, you will be able to call this entire things, which we are able to call with the help of our inspector. So MCP install main.py and hit enter, and yeah, so there is no error. It simply means that it is able to install this particular tool that I have created, and with the help of Cloud, I will be able to call this particular tool. So let's go and check. And yeah, one more thing guys, so Cloud is going to take some time to show the particular tool that you are going to attach, maybe 5 or 10 seconds of time. It's not like immediately. And if your Cloud is already up and running, if it is open, so just try to close it, just try to terminate its instances, and then try to open it up after 5 to 10 seconds. Then only you will be able to see it. So I'm just trying to open up my Cloud Desktop, and now this tool, right, as you can see, so this tool icon is available to me. Yeah, this tool icon is available to me. So I can click on this tool and I can try to check. So as you can see, bingo. So yeah, we are able to see a SWOT analysis. This is a tool that we have exposed, if you remember. So this was the tool that we have even tested, SWOT analysis. I can try to expose as many tools as possible, right? And then what I can do is maybe I can try to call this particular tool. That's completely fine. So here I can try to call this SWOT analysis and hit enter. Now let's see it is going to work for me or not. So just my own custom function, gathering my thought to be right there. Okay, so here allow tool from SWOT analysis MCP, local, raw this one, and allow for this chat. So here I'm just allowing the tool, and let's see so what it is going to do. So locally it hasn't, it has not worked. Okay, so I think I have to give SWOT analysis as it is. So SWOT analysis. So I was trying to call it as a function. And it is not able to do a tool calling so far. Let me keep it inside a different screen. SWOT analysis, call it. Yeah, so it looks like it is able to call. Okay, so basically here it is returning me no output, but let me check it with respect to. Yeah, so I believe it's up and running and it's working. So maybe I can go to a PDF report, copy path, and delete all the file that I have. So here PDF report, delete all the file so that I will be able to check. There are so many like files which I have like created over here. So just deleting the entire file, guys. Okay, so this folder is completely empty and there is no PDF report as of now. Now what I can do is I can try to test this one, this particular tool, SWOT analysis. So tool is basically SWOT analysis. Okay, and we can check parallelly over here. Yeah, so it is able to call, and as you can see, so it is able to generate a noise headphone, and that was the whole idea, right? So whenever I'm going to call a SWOT analysis, means I was supposed to call this SWOT analysis, and here it is showing me like because I'm returning blank for this one, right? Blank for a Claude or any kind of a host which is trying to call my particular function. So yeah, I'm able to successfully call, and then I'm able to generate noise headphone entire report, a SWOT analysis report. That was the whole idea. Now, so I believe our project is ready. We are able to test it through Cloud. We are able to test it even with the help of Inspector. We are able to create a separate server. Now, what is a next step that you all can do? So here my server is up and running inside my local system, and it's a complete separate system. There is like it's like we are trying to connect with the MCP, but it's a complete separate system. Now I can try to host it. I can try to expose this entire system to the outer world. Maybe I can try to Dockerize it, and then I can try to host it on AWS, Azure, GCP, wherever I want. At the end of the day, what I want. So I just want an API, right? I just want this API. This is the only thing which I want. And then I'm just trying to like wrap it up inside the function. I'm trying to convert this function into a tool. And likewise, I will be able to integrate not just one or two tool, but hundreds and hundreds of tool I will be able to integrate. As simple as that. So this is the final outcome of the project. And on top of this, you can try to add many more things. You can try to make this entire server like a global, and then you can try to create a tool inside your local system, and then you can try to call this particular tool inside a Cloud or inside a inspector or anywhere else. So whatever host you want, you will be able to call it. So hope all of you have enjoyed this project. We are able to create a true MCP project over here, end to end, up and running, working with my own custom code, right? I'm able to convert this tool into I'm able to convert this entire function into a MCP tool, and I'm able to integrate even with the Cloud, and I'm able to invoke it. So hope all of you have liked this entire project. So please comment. So if you have any kind of a doubt, so obviously I'm going to solve it. And all of these files, these two projects, so one is my server and one is my MCP tool. So these two files will be available inside your inside your dashboard. And apart from that, so whatever URL for Google API or maybe for a CX tool or for whatever I have used in this particular project, so each and everything will be available inside your dashboard, guys. Yeah. So with that, thank you so much, everyone, and see you again in my next project.